Hello there, and thank you for clicking on this video. As you can see by the title next to me and by this beautiful poster, we're going to talk about Cobra Kai Season 6, Part 1 and 2. Okay, so Part 1 and Part 2 are just so different from one another. But in general, my first thoughts, what I'm going to say is that it is a bit underwhelming. I think that Cobra Kai has had its highs and lows, but this season was just kind of meh. It was like it wasn't good. It wasn't that good. It was okay, but it wasn't that good. It wasn't that bad. But there is this certain thing that we're going to talk about it just in a few seconds that I really dislike. That made me really dislike this season. I think that this is not a strong way to go. Um, it really depends on what happens since it's in the third part that it's gonna release, I think, in February or January, 2025. Oh my God, we're 2025. I still feel like we're 2015, but that's okay. But yeah, I'm just not convinced by this season. I think it's a bit sad that it will go down, not with a bang. I mean, yes, maybe the last 5 episodes are gonna be amazing, but still, it's an overall journey. Like, you cannot have 10 episodes or 15 episodes and just have like 5 of them be good. Like, you need like 80% of them to be good. And I'm not convinced by this season. And one of the biggest things about this season was Tori's story. I was never a huge fan of Tori, to be honest. She was always just fighting against everyone. She could never let a positive thought in her mind, even though she does have so much support around her. Even before the thing with her mom, you know, people were there for her, but she's just so stubborn, and I think she has this wall around her because she has always had a rough life, right? We did see, I think, in season 5, this man trying to use her, the man that rents out the apartment, trying to use her and take advantage. And this is just one glimpse into her life, and she does have a very tough life. That's why she has hard time, accepting Sam and like trying to relate to Sam, because I'm sorry, but Sam is super privileged, and it's not her fault. She grew up in a very good and stable home. They're financially very well off. She has a loving family. Like, she has all those things that Tori has never really had. I mean, her mom does love her, but despite that, like, she has had many hardships. And I have always been a fan of this, balance, well, not balance, but comparison between Sam and Tori. And when you have a person like Sam who is kind of whiny and kind of spoiled, and that's not her fault. I'm not saying like people that are financially well off, I'm not saying that they don't have problems. I'm just saying they cannot relate to people like Tori, because they grew up in another environment, and that's okay, of course. Like, I'm not saying she should be like, I don't know, doing something big for Tori, but I get why Tori is always frustrated with Samantha, because Sam cannot relate to anything that Tori is going through, or feeling, because she had never had to struggle for anything. I mean, yeah, maybe she gets bullied here or there, like she has minor inconveniences, but nothing as huge as what Tori has had, or even Miguel. I mean, yeah, Miguel is as well, like, not very well off, but at least he has his family that really loves him. They're healthy, they are there for him. He has, oh, I forgot to turn this on. I mean, you cannot really see it, it's the trailer, just like a background thingy. I don't know, trying to be technological, it doesn't work out for me. Technology doesn't like it. But anyways, that's not the point, because this video is gonna get very long, because there is actually a lot to talk about here. And I do love the dynamic between um you know um the I guess the lower class. I mean, they're not lower class; they're financially lower class, and the upper class. Have like Sam's mom. Apparently, as far as I remember from her story, she did start from like the bottom. Like she wasn't. She had a very difficult childhood or something, a difficult life. But now, she's in a good place. She's financially well off, but because she went through that hardship back in the day, she can relate and she knows what Tori is feeling. Like she knows what's going on with Tori. While Samantha, she cannot. I mean, and that's okay. I mean, we cannot blame people for having it good. Like we should be happy for them because, I mean, at least someone is doing good, in life. Um, so yeah, I that's why Samantha is sometimes kind of dislikable. Is that a word? Because she's just, yeah, I'm sorry. Like she's a good actress. I like the character. She's sweet and helpful and trying to be friendly and everything. But like if you haven't gone through stuff, you can very hard, like it's very difficult for you to relate. And that's why Tori, sometimes I'm like, I'm so sorry, girly, you deserve better. And the biggest problem with part one for me was Tori's story, as I said, but especially this one aspect. And I think they did a very good job explaining that here in the Forbes article about part one. You know, Yes. So it was the fifth episode was very rushed and forced. And the fifth episode is where Tori's mom dies. And I think it's just so ridiculous. It's ridiculous how they handled her passing away and the tantrum, the grief that Tori was experiencing, and that you know it was just brushed off as if nothing, as if Tori is having these meltdowns because she's something stupid happened. Like no, like I don't like the show just brushed it off as if like it's a minor inconvenience. Like her little mother passed away and the show doesn't really give an F about that, and that really hurt me. Like this, I don't know, it just, I was like, come on, someone speak about it, like someone do something. Yes, I think Sam's mom tried to do something, like talk to her, but obviously Tori wasn't in the right headspace space. And then Robbie also tried talking to her, but when she wasn't answering, he was like, okay, well, I have to give her space. This girl lost like literally everything, and you're letting her have her space. I think that's the stupidest thing ever. You know, yes, like if she insists on like giving of space, of having space, then of course. But like go there, fight for her, be there. This girl lost her mom and nobody's giving a shit. I think I really hate this. That's why I started disliking Robbie. And I know that's obviously not his fault. It's the writer's fault that they're just like, oh, a random inconvenience happened and now Tori is mean again. I think it's just so stupid and ridiculous and I hate it. And I think they're really they described it very well in this article because I don't think that I can articulate myself very well. So this article really did that. So this came after Tori's mom dies, and she and Sam spar to see who will be the captain of the team in Barcelona, where the Sekai Taikai is being held. Tori is clearly way too obsessed and angry to keep fighting, and when Sam's parents find out why, they put a stop to the fight. This is actually a good decision. Tori was lashing out and giving her history with Samantha. There was genuine concern that she could take things too far. John's insistence that she be allowed to keep fighting felt out of character. Yeah, this was kind of weird. I mean, I do understand on one hand why he was like, let her fight, like she needs to let it out. But on the other hand, like she's gonna probably end Samantha's life. Johnny's insistence that she be allowed to keep fighting felt out of character. Yeah, I think they should have like taken her on the side and be like fine, like let me put off the gloves and like hit me, like do something. But they just let her storm out as if it's nothing. I think it's just ridiculous. So yeah, and next they're also saying this. As for Tori, while I'm sure that losing her mom made her act rashly, I just don't buy the huge about face at this moment. She had a bunch of people offering her support and love, and instead she quits and storms off and joins Chris' new, mostly all Korean Cobra Kai. Um, So yeah, that doesn't matter about him being a felon and everything. Yeah, I think it was a bit, I don't know. I feel like if they had, I think that's why they call this episode very rushed. Because if they had added some scenes where Chris goes to visit her at the hospital or something and like gives her support, because he, like, we have seen many episodes where it shows that he actually cares about her. Um, I don't think that this is fake. I think that Chris actually cares about her and Johnny as well, but in his own twisted way. And so she gets this support, from this guy who I would assume like went after her. Like he went there and he was there for her and talking to her, while nobody of her Miyagi-Do friends and her boyfriend like try to do something. Like they're calling her and they're like, oh, she doesn't pick up. Well, of course she doesn't pick up. Like, I don't know. Like she's on her own, because something like that happened to me as well. And I was there like, oh my own. Like they're, oh, I'm giving you space if you need something. I'm like, I don't know what they need. Like do something. And unfortunately, I had one person that was like, okay, today we do this. Are you okay? Let's go this. Let's do that. Like constantly checking in, constantly making me do things, and really helped me go through the thing. But well, everyone else, well, I understand they didn't know what to do really, but like, okay, I'm here for you. Like, okay, fine. I'm just there staring at the, wall for months, and I don't know. I'm basically a ghost. So this really struck with me. This like story really struck with me. Like, sorry, girl, like fuck them, like for real, like f them. Go join Cobra Kai, like do something, because like when something like this happens, you don't know what to do. Like you don't know, you just stand there and you wait for someone to grab your hand and actually make you do something. So I really understand what Tori went through. Not to that extent, like not like not but still like something similar. But yeah, let's continue with this. Worse, nobody follows her or checks up on her or tries to get her to come back. They just move on, and next thing you know, we're in Barcelona. I think this was so disgusting. I'm sorry, but this is so disgusting that they treated her like this. Like, I yeah. Everyone is all shocked to see Tori on Cobra Kai team. Really, in the months between these events, nobody thought to go help her or make things right. Did Robbie just ignore his girlfriend for that entire time? Exactly. Yeah, I would say Peyton List knocks it out of the park. It was great. Like, yeah, with her performance during the fifth episode, but the actual plot feels like a lot of contrived conflict trumped up to keep us watching. None of it feels organic or true to the character situation. I think I'm far from the only fan who feels like this Johnny LaRusso drama has peaked and it's now, well, expired. Okay. Yeah, so as I said, let's go back to this. Exactly, like the whole story really touched me. And I yeah, I was like, the writers, directors, whoever had so much time to to work on this properly, and they ruin everything that has been built up, the whole piece in the valley, the whole piece between Sam and Tori and everyone, like for a second. I think it's just so stupid. I hate it when, the story, in many stories, like they progress and they progress. But here, okay, so wait, I lost my thought. So the stories progress and progress, and then out of nowhere, the people bring the stories back at point one. Like you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then out of nowhere, we're back at one. What, like, I really hate it when stories do that. Like they develop them and then they just stop and bring them back. I think it's just so stupid. But it happens very, very often, and I really don't like it. But yeah, I think the video is actually getting too long. But yeah, let's talk about part one and part two as well again. Why not? I mean, because I thought this video is gonna be 15 minutes, but now I spoke about Tori so long that it's gonna be like 2025. But I really, I'm like the Tory thing. It really touched me. I really hate what they did. I really did. Yes, in the part two, the last episode of part two, she was kind of, I think, yeah, like definitely back. But the fact that nobody of the grown-up men that have kids went after her, like checked on her, just Samantha's mom, tried, but obviously um Tori didn't care because like she was so vulnerable. She was so vulnerable. Like a person like that, like if you give an F, then you try and do something and not just like, oh, she's not picking up. Okay, well, F her. Like, okay, but let's go to part one. Let's talk about this. So part one of season 6. So yeah, exactly. The fighting between Johnny and Daniel is getting old. Like it got old in season like 3 or 4. Like at this point, they know each other so well, and both of them are going through some character development, and this should lead to something. But the moment it starts leading to something, something happens and they're back at square one. I think it's just stupid. Chosen is a bit silly. Like ever since he arrived, he has been just a drunk uncle. I don't know. Yes, he's funny. He's a legend. As I said, like in the other point, he's a legend. But I don't know. At some points, he kind of feels like a loser a bit, and I don't like this because Chosen is not a loser. He's a badass. As well, I wrote it was super rushed. And the last battle between all the guys, all the Miyagi Dos to see who reaches the Sekai Taikai. I just don't think that Dimitri is on par with everyone. I don't think he deserves to be in there. I mean, yeah, he did develop, like he got better in fighting, but he's just not on par with the other ones. I think he's just there for the sake of the plot because he's one of the main characters, right? But I just I was like, okay, Dimitri shouldn't be there. Like, I don't know, the Kenny should because they showed how good Kenny is. Like he has it in his blood. Wow, Dimitri. I mean, sorry, but Dimitri kind of sucks. So yeah, I mean, the last few episodes showed him like having some skills, but yeah, Dimitri was never a convincing fighter for me. So the positive things, as I said in part one, was that the whole training with Johnny and Daniel and Chosen were actually super fun as well. I mean, when they're not like seriously fighting, when they're just like having this banter, just arguing, but like friendly, then it's fine. It's super fun. They have great chemistry. The actors have great chemistry, but yeah, it's all overshadowed by their egos and by by them like doing the same old thing. Yeah, we had like peace at last. You had Miguel and Robbie being friends. You had the girls being friends. It was really great, and I really hated when they brought her back to Cobra Kai. When they brought Tori back to Cobra Kai because she should have been with Miyagi Do. I hope she wins the whole thing. Actually, wait, what? What did I just say? I mean, she's not gonna win anything because I don't think that Sekai Takai is. I think it's over. I mean, someone passed away. So I don't think that they're gonna continue it. Oh, yeah, maybe. But yeah, and also the women of the show, I forgot their names, but the moms. Actually, I should have written. I love the moms. Samantha's mom and Miguel's mom. I think they're just such legends. They're just so done with everything, but their committing, timing, everything is just so good. I love them. Their characters are great. Really, really. Yeah, they have the show has so many funny moments, like fun moments, like solid moments. But yeah, I just wish the story would progress and not like go back to the same old things. As far as for part two, exactly, like Johnny and Daniel were again fighting, and wanting to give up. And I'm like, okay, this is so out of character. Like, you got so far, and now you're like, do we do that? I'm like, you're like, come on, it's stupid. But yeah, Johnny and Daniel were fighting again over like the fighting style, and I'm like, at this point, you're not a team. Like, you should have worked on that. I think it's just so stupid. We're season 6 and you're still fighting. I don't know why their writers go with it. Yes, it can be funny, but they can be arguing, but not like taking it too seriously. And this is always like going way too serious. Like, you have Johnny always being like, no, we have to strike hard, like super hard. And then Daniel's, no, you have to like be peace. I'm like, at this point, you should have come up with a solution. And you had come up with a solution for like a second to apply both of them. But then at the heat of the moment, they always like reset back to their you know, to their ways. And yeah, exactly. I also wrote, how is the team still not a team? Like, after so many episodes, so much time, they they were just like, yeah, they just felt so disjointed, and I don't understand even how they go so far in the competition. I mean, Robbie was basically a ghost, and I get it, like the whole thing with Tori, but exactly like this, like the Tori thing created so many problems that were really not necessary. I'm still at loss for words why they decided to go this way. Exactly, the whining. Like, Daniel was like, "Oh, sure, I mean, Miyagi was not who he is." Like, like, stop. I don't know. And exactly, like, it can get just too much sometimes. But part 2 also had good things. You had proper fighters. I mean, this girl Zara, she's a proper fighter apparently. Like, I googled her, she's like real time, like, and it showed. I really like that. I really love when in stories like this, when where you need to have like professionals, they actually hire professionals. Yeah, I mean, it just takes it to a whole new level, because you see someone like Dimitri. I mean, he doesn't look convincing at all. Like, when he fights as well, Sam and Dimitri don't look convincing at all. While Tori, Robbie, Hawk is super convincing. I think the actor also does his own stunts. And the thing is, I think, no, I wanted to say, whenever Hawk is on screen or does something, you have this sound, like this eagle sound, like, oh, okay, that's not how an eagle sounds, but you know what I mean. It's so epic. But yeah, when the actors put the effort, or you hire professionals, it shows, and it's so well done. I love it. And then you have Louis Tan. I think he started in Mortal Kombat. Like, he's a proper fighter as well. Like, or he just fixed it very well. I mean, he's also hot, so that also doesn't hurt. But no, like, he really brings the whole thing to another level. I really loved it. And also these two, like Chosen and the woman, I forgot her name. I'm sorry, but I really like the chemistry between them. You know, she's a bitch, but she has some honor. She has some dignity. You know, when she sees that Chris is doing something bad, she's trying to be like, bro, calm down. You know, she wants to go the honorable way. So I don't think that I don't think she's bad. I don't think she's evil. I think yeah, I mean, I guess because she was brought up, you know, by this dude who is a monster, kind of. So I mean, what do you expect? But at least she has honor. So I do like her and Chosen. I think Chosen should get his happy end. I mean, you brought him into the show, and he's just there, a bit like funny. Anymore. And another thing I loved is that how international everything was. Mm, they brought fighters from all over the world. You had an Irish team, you had a Russian team. Yeah, was it good to have a Russian team? Like, why did you do that to the Russians? I mean, now in this climate, make them the villains again. Great, we love that. Why not? But yeah, I think it was super nice. I think it was super international. I really loved it. It didn't feel like a worldwide competition. Like I was imagining like a bigger arena and stuff, like a bit more epic, but still, yeah, it was fine. And the last brawl, like the last big fight, it was just insane. Like everyone just went unhinged. Yeah, everyone were fighting. No complaints there. But the fact that Kwon just like passed away by his own like evilness or whatever, I don't know, was a bit bro. But no, he was kind of psycho, so yeah, but he's a kid, so yeah, I cannot say anything there. Like nobody deserves to go out so young, and especially by something so silly. So yeah, the whole thing was yeah, I don't know what to say. But all the new actors, characters, I loved. I cannot complain about anyone. I think it was really really great. But if the thing with Tori wasn't bugging me, I would be really loving this. But I don't know. I'm just still disappointed by doing Tori so dirty. And the last thing I want to talk about is, so maybe there's gonna be a Miyagi sequel. I don't know. I don't think I have read any news about that, but I think that there is some talk that some people would like to see a show about a young Miyagi. Um, I don't know, because a lot of the prequels, well, actually, it's a prequel, it's not a sequel, right? A lot of prequels just don't really work very well. So I don't know about that. I am cautious. I don't think it's going to work with today's climate and everything. But I don't know why not. Yeah, actually, I don't have too much to say about this, but the effect the Miyagi story has on Daniel is just a bit over the top. I mean, okay, he killed someone. He wasn't who you know him to be, but I mean, he's a human being. You know, he went through a lot. They did talk about his, his past, that his family passed away and things. So, I mean, we're human. Things can get out of hands, but to have this effect on Daniel, like him, like breaking down because of Miyagi. I mean, dude, yeah, a fighter like this, of course, that something would have happened. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I think it was a bit over the top, but so far so good. Let's go back to the first poster. Yeah, as I said, I don't have too many complaints. Well, I do have a huge complaint. It was Tori's story, because it influenced so much of everything. It did influence so much of everything, and I'm really sad that they did her so dirty. But yeah, as I said, actually, I forgot to mention that there was this one moment of part two where Miguel and Johnny were just bonding. I really love that. I really love Johnny. He's my favorite character, and him bonding with Miguel. I mean, he loves Miguel, but yeah, that's the other thing. You know, he was saying to Miguel like, "I'm not there for you as much because you're doing great, but Robbie's broken. Robbie's so broken. Like he doesn't have the support you have had. So just let him have this." And Miguel's like, okay, yeah, fair. He's grown up. So again, this comparison between like someone like Robbie, who was basically homeless, mistreated, um, and Miguel, who, despite not being financially well off, has this very, very loving family, and this makes a huge difference to have this by your side. So that's why Johnny is trying to pay more attention to Robbie, because Miguel is fine. He has a solid ground to step on, but Robbie doesn't have that. And Miguel, because he has also struggled, he can kind of relate and say, okay, yeah, fair. But for someone as Sam, like she cannot really understand what Robbie went through, what Tori's going through. Like, yeah, Miguel kind of, but Sam, no. So I really like the contrast between all the kids, and you see their upbringing, and like you can assume what they feel and what they think, and it's a very interesting contrast. And it's well written. I think the show in general it is a good show. It has great characters, but yeah, this like the stop of progress every now and then, I think it's just so I it gets boring, it gets tired. And Tori, I'm sorry, girl. I hope they do you justice in in the next part, and I bet they will. But I think her mom passing away was just so unnecessary. It was unnecessary drama, and yeah. Okay, well, I wanted this video to be super short, but because I thought I don't have too much to say about Cobra Kai, but apparently I do. I do. When I start talking, I don't stop. So I'm sorry, but I will put the timestamps and you can just go and click and listen to whatever you want. Like you don't have to listen to everything. So yeah, do let me know down below. Cobra Kai part 1 and 2, season 6, better or worse than the other seasons? Do you have any theories what happens in the next part? Apparently not too many good things I read somewhere, but maybe we're gonna do another video about this. But excited to see how this ends. And apparently they're gonna have a movie, Cobra Kai and the Karate Kid, with no what Ralph Macchio and Jackie Chan. I love Jackie Chan. I grew up with Jackie Chan, like such a great funny actor, not just funny but just a great actor. But yeah, I'm excited to see what happens in this movie, and I'm gonna make a different video about this because it's a topic on its own. But do let me know your thoughts down below. Whatever you think, let me know down below, and I'll see you in the next video. And as always,